to richcollinsradio.com. I am the national spokesman for that black power. You are now listening to Radical Black Talk Radio. And respect my mind, big baby. Looking right into the camera. Because I'm going to tell y'all something to all my youth out there, my young men and young women coming up in the game. Remember this. When you're talking to a man or a woman, you always look them in their eye. Because the eyes tell it all. The eyes are the way to the soul. You feel me? You can spot a liar. You can spot a real G too. You know what I mean? It's knowledge. Knowledge is one of the elements of hip-hop. Today I chose to speak about hip-hop because hip-hop is what did it all for me. Hip-hop is what got me into politics so heavy and made me pay attention. It was through hip-hop, Public Enemy, and later on Dead Prez that my consciousness really grew. So it went from being a NWA, West Coast, SIBO, DJ Quick. I'm talking about Selly Cell, Spice One. I grew up listening to all that E40. And then I had gotten to this mode where it was straight pro-black music. You feel me? And now in my 20s, I can merge the both. You know, I respect the artists when they come with that real talk. What separated my generation from this generation when it comes to hip-hop is that we had a balance of different genres within hip-hop. But now, a lot of this stuff sounds very similar. It's not as competitive as it used to be, and we trying to take it back to that, back to the real, because the hip hop come from the streets, and we have roles as MCs, you know what I mean? And that was to speak power to truth. The future of hip hop, I see it blowing up, even bigger than what it is right now, enormous. Hip hop in under 30 years. Went all across the world. You feel me? As an art form. So I can only imagine where it would be at 50 years, 60 years. It has given a lot of black men and women a way out. A way to make money. A way to put food on the table. Put a roof over their family's head. Put clothes on their children's back. So I salute hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? I just wish that we could get back to the real. You know what I mean? A lot of brothers is getting rich. A lot of rappers is getting rich, but at what cost? They selling their people out. They selling them short. Talking about nothing. And we need some more rappers that's going to stand up. Because at one time, it was cool to be intelligent in hip-hop. It was knowledge, motherfucker. I had to change your situation, how to come up out that. And if they was talking about them streets, they was telling a story. And they was really living it. A lot of these rappers nowadays, they not living what they talking about. So they lying, they playing movies. You gotta get away from that. Hip-hop is a tool. Hip-hop is power. Hip-hop is change. We can use that. And it has been used in the past. You know what I'm saying? For righteous causes. Tupac, he got an old song when you talk about Panther Power. He grew up in a Panther family. His father's Matulu Shakur, his mother's Afeni Shakur. Barack Obama, president of the greatest country in the world, they say. He even used hip-hop as a tool in his campaign and continues to do so right now. You see the president hanging out with Obama, will.i.am, chilling with Ludacris. That's what he do. All of that is a strategy to get the people programmed to his program. That's how powerful hip-hop is. The voice of the ghetto. You know what I mean? And it got taken over by corporations who exploited the culture. So there's really no honor in hip-hop no more. I studied hip-hop early on. You get punched in the mouth for taking somebody else's rhyme, biting somebody else's rhyme. Like people will come, rappers will come see you for that. It's changed a lot since then. And I don't like it. I don't like the state of hip-hop right now. I think it's in a terrible position. feel me? Because of the nonsense, the constant nonsense. Straight up. It ain't about nothing. You know what I mean? I'm listening to this Capadonna right now. This is real hip-hop. I grew up on that Wu-Chain Clan. You know what I mean? Go study the story of the Wu. All these brothers come together. They didn't even really like each other. Put their differences to the side and change the world. Sold millions of records, but most importantly, it was dope. I mean, that was from the heart. That music was from the soul. RZA, Jizza, GZA, you know what I mean? Y'all know about Ghostface Killer, Method Man, You God, Old Dirty Bastard. You know about all that, man. It's the Wu. And so when I go in here and I talk to these youngsters about the Wu-Chain, they looking at me like, who is that? They don't even know who the Wu-Chain is. You know what I mean? Because they've been overdosed with this junk rap. Like everything in history, it's going to come back 360 degrees. There's going to be a time when hip-hop comes back to that dark side. Yes, sir. Some say the rap game is tougher than the boxing game. You know, this is the only art form where so many people have been killed who are doing hip-hop. You read about the rock and roll groups, heavy metal, country, jazz, blues. And they wasn't getting down like these soldiers in hip-hop is. This is hip-hop wars. You got Biggie, you got Tupac, which I, honestly, from a researcher's point of view, that right there, that was more of the media blowing that story up. They got them two young men killed. And it shows you how much power that these two brothers yielded. Tupac and Biggie had absolute power. That's what Jim Brown was talking about in the interview when he said the government don't like when you have influence over men because they had the potential to do some good. So they had to get rid of them. That's how powerful hip-hop is. Hip-hop can change the world. In fact, it has changed the world in the short time it's been around. Come from the ghetto, come from black people, something they can't never try to say they created. Some Africans tried to say it was from, they said hip-hop started in Africa. Hip-hop has its roots in Africa, but it came to life in the United States of America. And I don't believe that hip-hop started in the Bronx. Every time you read stories about hip-hop or you watch a documentary, they're saying that hip-hop started in South Bronx, New York. Now, respect to South Bronx, New York, I salute with the highest of honor. But it did not start in the South Bronx. I've been reading the word rapping that's been around since the 20s. You know, go read some of the old literature. That's what the old folks used to say back in the day was, let me rap with you. Muhammad Ali is another example. He was a rapper. In fact, there's a whole book of his raps that you can buy. And this was back in the 50s and 60s. Before this thing that they call hip-hop began in South Bronx, New York. Now, did the South Bronx, New York take it and put it on a whole nother level? Yes, sir. But brothers been rapping for years. Pimp's been rhyming for years. All rapping is poetry. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Brothers always had that swag about themselves where they could, flip their words. And that's where hip-hop come from, with the beat playing behind it in the background. Most of those early hip-hop songs, if you go back and listen to them, if you go back and listen to them, most of that was old school songs. They had been sampled. Then what they did was they put some drum patterns on it, and they would rap over that. James Brown was heavily sampled, and still is in hip-hop, amongst all other music genres. James Brown, by the way, he came. Remember that, the king. He the one that gave us the platform. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for James Brown, who knows where hip-hop would be? So it's more of a cut and paste art form. It's many things. That's what makes it so powerful. Different is taking all the elements around you and creating something.